Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Take No podcast. It is me, of course, your girl, Shaunie Sanders, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the heart of where dreams come to flourish. So today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the digital realm, unpacking all the secrets of social media that can really send your business into the stratosphere. So whether you are a budding entrepreneur or you are a seasoned business mogul, there's always a new trick or two to learn. So grab your notepad because today we're unpacking the power of social media. Now, before we get started, I want to address something. I want to talk about when Instagram and Facebook went down. And what I tell people, because I used to teach social media. So what I tell people is that social media is just a marketing tool. It is not the end all be all. It is a marketing tool that you use to help grow your business. It is a part of your overall marketing strategy. And I think that's what we have to realize, that when Facebook and Instagram went down, it really showed a lot of people that, oh my God, I do everything on Facebook and Instagram. How am I going to connect with my audience? How am I going to let them know about my new product and service, or continue to be able to sell my products and services to new customers? And so that's why the importance of having an email list is like huge. And I've talked about this before in previous episodes about the importance of having an email list, of building a strong email list. So if you are a business owner, if you are a podcaster, I don't care who you are, influencer, if you are not building a strong email list of your followers, then you are going to miss out. If you don't own some type of digital real estate in terms of like a website for customers to go to, for your audience to go to, membership site, then you are missing out. Social media goes down, you're going to miss out. We have to remember that we don't own these platforms. We don't. We're just a part of them. We're just renting space on these platforms, right? And we're getting monetized on these platforms. So if you're one of those people who really depend on social media for monetization, then you really need to think about what other ways can you monetize your platform? What other ways can you continue to build your audience, connect with your community? You have to think about that, because they do not belong to you. They can ban your account. They can take it away from you at any moment. They're right now trying to get TikTok taken away completely. Removal of TikTok not being available in the US anymore. So we really have to understand, how do I build audience outside of social media? But also, social media still is a great tool to build an audience, to be connected with your community and your audience and your customers in real time. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. I just really wanted to say that because I know it was really huge for a lot of people when those pages went down. But for me, I really didn't fret, because I have other platforms, right? I have YouTube, I have Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube, I have Pinterest, I have Twitter, I have other accounts, right? I have a strong social media list. I have a website that I send people to. I have an Etsy shop. So I have other digital real estates and other places that people can still go to and connect with me and still know about my shows and still see everything, right? So social media isn't just about posting your brunch pics anymore. Though, let's be real, we do still love a good avocado toast pic. I'm not going to lie. I love an avocado toast pic, our great food pics, period. But it's a dynamic tool for businesses, and master it means the difference between being a hidden gem and a household name. And we know that about social media. We are now in a place where we understand that social media really can help build a business. It is a great marketing tool to build a business. It is that real-time interaction, that real-time building. And see, number one, you have to do is that you really have to understand your audience. So knowing your audience is key. So this is like social media 101 for you guys, right? This is social media 101. And it's not just about who your audience are, but what they want when they're online, and how likely they are with the content you serve, how likely they are with the content served by you. Right? So picture this. You're a vegan skincare line. Your audience, they're eco-conscious, probably loves a good plant-based meme, right? And they're scrolling through Insta at 7 p.m. post yoga session. Tailor your content to fit that vibe and you're golden. You really have to understand that in order to build an audience on social media, you have to be able to address a certain need. You have to be able to add value. And the one thing I know about social media, and if you guys don't know this already, every platform is different. No matter how much content that we create and we serve across multiple platforms, if you pay attention, it all performs differently. I myself can post something on Instagram and Facebook and it doesn't really perform like I want it to, but yet it performs very well on TikTok and YouTube. And so it really tells me about my audience. It tells me about the kind of content that they want. It tells me about the kind of content that they're looking for and the type of content they're consuming. And so when you pay attention to that, then you begin to build an audience that trusts you. But social media is all about being social, being interactive, building a strong audience. You can't do nothing without an audience. You can't do nothing without customers, right? It's like, what do you have a product or service for if nobody knows about it? So building your audience is key to driving social media growth. It's key to driving growth in your products and sales and generating leads. But how do you determine like what really is growth when there's so much out there, so much content that's out there, so many other accounts that's similar to yours, right? And this is what I tell people when people have those doubts about, well, there's so many accounts out there that's similar to mine. They're doing the same thing. They're doing so great. One, I tell people run your own race. Don't pay attention to your competitors. You can look at your competitors for content ideas, but you have to run your own race. You cannot sit there and pay attention to what they're doing so much that it affects what you plan to do. So you really have to know how to run your own race and pay attention to your audience, build your audience, and it takes time. Nobody goes viral overnight, right? You know, it's just by the luck of the draw. Some people can create content that can really go viral. You know, for instance, with Riverside and TikTok and how she created that content and went viral on TikTok. It didn't go viral on Instagram. It didn't go viral on Facebook. It didn't even go viral on YouTube. It went viral on TikTok. And because of that, you know, it performed differently. When I look at her platform on Instagram, her views are different. She doesn't get millions of views on Instagram. She gets millions of views on TikTok. And so it really content just performs different, but she built an audience who now trusts her as a true storyteller. So that's what I mean by you want to pay attention to your audience. And then the second thing you want to do, you want to create content that actually converts. So when we're talking about create content that actually converts, not all content is created equal, my friends. It's just not. There's the kind that gets a nod, right? Get a polite nod. And then there's a kind that converts, that go viral, right? That can really take someone straight to where you want them to go. And that's what we're after. We want to think about value-packed posts, engaging stories, and the kind of videos that make people go, wait, how is it midnight already? Right. And that's the thing I'm talking about, because that's what Riverside did with her show, her episodes, that she really created content that converted people to say, oh my God, wait a minute, I want to stay engaged in this throughout the entire 50-part series. And I'm going to follow her because I want to continue to go. So engagement is your best friend. And you think about polls, quizzes, and challenges to get your audience talking, and more importantly, tagging people. So content, in order to create content, you got to create a content that's going to be valuable to your audience. That's why once you understand who your audience is, then you're able to create content that is important to them. Value-based content. Content breaks down in different categories. You have educational content. You have content that's entertaining, that's just absolutely funny. You have inspiring content. You have content that's about health and fitness. So there's so many different types. But once you understand, one, what your product is, what your account is about, right? It could be about a product or a service, or it could lifestyle. So once you figure out what your account is about, then you're able to define the audience that you believe is going to be gravitating towards your account. And also you're able then to create content around that audience that's going to be life-changing for them. That's going to make them say, you know what? I want to continue this journey with her. I want to continue to know what type of content she's creating every day. I want to come back every day and see what's on the page, because either it's inspiring me or it's educating me in something that I was lacking. So when we create content, people tell you to create content that is going to answer just questions for your audience, or also relieve stress, relieve distractions, relieve whatever those negative triggers are for them, right? It could be a journey of some sort. It could be helping them create content, helping them do sales better. There's so many different things that you can do, but it's all about what is it that my account is all about. Who am I on social media? What am I offering on social media? And then who is my audience? Who is the people that I'm really speaking to? And the one thing I want us to remember about building an audience on social media is that you cannot speak to everybody. Everybody is not your audience. That is such the misconception when it comes to social media. They think that, oh, I'm just going to build my account. I have this great lifestyle, or either I have this great service, or I have this great product and it's for everybody. So I don't have to niche down. I can really just, sell to anyone, but that's not really how it works, because your product is going to be for a very specific person. Even your lifestyle is for a very specific person. That's why when we look at videos of people who are does cleaning and organization, that is for a very specific person who love organization and cleaning. I love those videos because I'm a very organized person. I'm always cleaning. So I'm always looking at them for new ideas, new ways of cleaning, new ways of getting things done, new organizational skills and tactics, new products for organization. That's why I follow certain accounts, because they give me new ideas and they add value to what I'm already doing. They relieve certain detractors from my life where it's like, oh, this was such a pain point for me. And now it's not anymore because I follow this person and they show me that, oh, this is a better way to do it. So when you're creating your content, make sure you remember that your content has to be for someone that you're actually relieving pain points for. And it's not for everybody. So it's okay to really narrow it down to that one particular customer that you're really trying to target. Because once you're able to do that, that's how you build audience. That's how you build community. That's how you add value. Now let's tackle the big A, the algorithm. And I know a lot of times the algorithm can seem so confusing for people, right? And it can sound like this, like a villain in a superhero movie. But trust me, it can really be your ally. And the secret sauce is consistency, quality, and a sprinkle of SEO magic. Using, of course, relevant keywords and hashtags. And don't forget about the power of a good caption. And when I say consistency, I mean that it isn't just post and go situation. It's a post and host party. You want to post and you want to continue to post. You want to answer questions that your audience have in the comments, right? You really want to know that. But also, let me tell you a secret to the algorithm that I learned myself. If you are not clear on who you are on social media, on what your page is about, on what you're offering, what value you're adding, you will confuse the algorithm. The algorithm will be confused and it won't know who to serve your content to. And what I didn't know is that I didn't know you could confuse the algorithm. Therefore, it will not serve your content up because it does not know who to serve it up to, because your account is not clear enough on who you are and what you're offering. So if you're going to be for a podcast, right? If you're a podcaster, your account does not need to be about a day in a life. It could be about the day of life. It could be about behind the scenes, but it doesn't need to be you going to the gym. It doesn't need to be you cooking. It can be a day in the life of a podcaster showing behind the scenes of podcasting, how you book guests, how you do audience research, but don't add personal elements. Don't add elements of you going out, going to the club, doing all this different stuff, being a mom, being that, because you're going to confuse the algorithm that, okay, are you a podcast? Because you're posting podcast clips also. So it's going to say to itself, okay, are you doing interviews or are you a lifestyle channel? And it's going to be confused. And once you confuse the algorithm, it is so hard to retrain it. You'll have to remove so much content off your page. And I'm only telling you guys this because I had to do it. I did it myself. Because a lot of time on social media, we think about, oh, I want to grow and I got to do what's trending. I got to do what everybody else is doing because of my page. I wanted to grow, because that's what people tell you to do. They said, hey, make sure you do what everybody else is doing. Make sure you hop on the trending music and do the trends, when really you will confuse the algorithm. You confuse the algorithm about who you are. So if you're podcasting, stick to that. If you're a product-based business, stick to that. If you want to do all the stuff that's trending, do that on your personal pages. But when it comes to your business, when it comes to your podcast, make sure you stay strictly to what you're doing. So therefore, the algorithm knows exactly who the customer is, exactly who the audience is, and they will serve your content in front of that person. That's what you want to make sure you do. Please do not confuse the algorithm, because once you do it, it is hard to retrain it. It is hard to do it. It's hard to retrain it. It can happen, but it's hard to do. So make sure you know what kind of content you serve and be very clear on what your page is about and who your audience is. So that way you will be in partnership, right? Not against, but in partnership with the algorithm. And remember SEO. I've talked about SEO so many times too. For those that don't know, that's search engine optimization. SEO is so key to all these social platforms. Because also Google picks up that SEO traffic. So it's not just about how people search on these platforms. It's also about Google as well. So SEO really does help with discovery, It helps with new audience, new customers. And so you really want to know, depending on the platform you're on, exactly how to use SEO. SEO is so important on YouTube because we all know YouTube is a huge search engine. SEO is important on Instagram because now each of these platforms has search capabilities. And so when you think about searching on these platforms, you got to cater that SEO to that platform. You got to think about how people search for the kind of content that I use, that I give them, right? Because you think about, how do you search for content? When you're on Instagram, how do you search for things? And you think about that and you say to yourself, I have to use the right keywords. Keywords have to be in our description, in our bio as well, in order to get discovered. And so you want to have a well-written bio that has keyword friendly words in them that will actually help your profile get discovered when someone comes on Instagram and search for a particular topic. You want to make sure that your account gets pulled up. So make sure you pay attention to the algorithm. Make sure you work with the algorithm and not against, because as I said, you can change the algorithm to not serve your content if you are confused. And a lot of people get confused because a lot of people are trying to service too many people. They're not clear on who they are and what their business is. And so they don't see the growth simply because if you're confused, then what you think the algorithm is. If you're not sure about what you are, who you are, what your business does, what do you think how do you think the algorithm is? The algorithm doesn't know either. You train the algorithm on what your business is. The algorithm just doesn't come on and define your business. You define your business to the algorithm, and that is on every social media page. Every page, you train the algorithm. Remember that. So the algorithm isn't this thing that works against you. It's just you can do certain tactics and strategies on your page that will have you work against the algorithm. So I want to go further into algorithm and more so into more like analytics and stuff like that, so people can understand exactly what it is and how to work best with it to really see real success and growth. But that'll probably be another episode that I do. But now let's move ahead and let's talk about analytics. And analytics is something that a lot of people don't talk about because a lot of people don't understand their analytics and they don't actually look at their social media analytics. But your roadmap to success is your analytics. And your analytics are not just numbers. They are your path to the kind of customer you want, to likes and comments and shares, and even that little sneaky unfollow tells a story. So it tells you what's working, what's not working, and you're able to adjust your strategy accordingly. So it's like being a digital detective, but instead of solving mysteries, you're boosting your business. And so understanding your data, understanding your analytics with your social media platforms is so important because, like I told you before, content actually performs differently on each platform. And when you look at the data, when you look at your analytics, it really tells you a lot. So when I post something across all channels, I'm on my analytics within the next, 20, 30 minutes. I give it time to kind of get used to get into the algorithm, right? And once I do that, I look at the analytics. By the end of the day, I'm looking at the analytics to see how this post is performing. If it's not performing well, I remove it from that platform because that means, okay, this isn't performing well here. I need to do something different. If it's performing well on a certain platform, then it's okay. That tells you, okay, you know what? I need to do more content like this because people like this kind of content. And so that's what data and analytics tell you. You have to learn how to be able to make data-driven decisions, data-driven content. That's how you learn how you can add value to building your audience, how you can add value to your customers, how you can build new customers, because when you see people engaging with it, and it's really funny, and I'm telling you, it's really funny when you look at content and see how I can post something across all channels and on Facebook, it don't get any views. It gets one like, maybe 25 views. And I'm like, oh my God, but I got over 10,000, almost 20,000 views on TikTok and TikTok and YouTube. But Facebook and Instagram, it's not performing well. And so it tells me, okay, either I need to change something, but also I remember I trained the algorithm against me. And so therefore it's going to take time for my content now to get back into the algorithm, for the algorithm to understand what this page is about and what kind of content I'm serving. So I'm trying to be very consistent with my content when I'm serving and when I'm creating on these pages. So therefore it can grow because I created new pages. And this is how I know the algorithm, like I told you guys before, can work against you. You can train it to work against you because I created new pages. And when I put the same content on the new pages, it performed well because the algorithm identified, oh, I know what this is. And so that's what I mean by we have to make sure we understand our algorithm and we have to make data-driven decisions if we really want to see real growth on social media. You have to learn how to make those data-driven decisions. It's not just about hopping on everything that's trending. You want to use trending music. Trending music help you get eyes on your account, but does not convert to followers, doesn't convert to actual engagement. And if it's not doing that, then that's not what you should be doing. Because it's not just about views and it's not just about likes. It's really about engagement. Are people liking, saving? Are people saving and sharing and commenting? That's what it's about. It's not about the likes anymore. It's about comments, sharing, and saving. That's how you know content is resonating with people. Then you begin to see growth because people are like, oh, I got to come back to this account. So let me follow them. So I wanted to make sure we touch on algorithm and make sure we understand not just algorithm, but also the analytics and the data-driven decisions. Because even as I worked in my career as a product owner, we made nothing but data-driven decisions about anything that we decided to build on any website. And that's the type of decision making and that's the type of mindset you have to have when it comes to your content. It has to have a strategy and it has to have some type of goal behind what you're posting. Like, what do you want this content to do? Well, how's this content going to serve your audience? What's the goal for this content? And then once you put it out there on social media, you give it some time. By the end of the day, you look at it and you see how it's performing. And that's how you decide what kind of content is going to be valuable to your audience to help you build an audience. And that's what works. Now, lastly, but certainly not least, it's about community, because social media is all about building relationships. It's not just about broadcasting messages, right? Posting your content, posting your videos, your stuff for people to like and follow. We forget that. And I noticed this about social media too. A lot of times when it comes to any of us that are business owners, right? That we're trying to build an audience. We're trying to sell our products and our services, but we also forget that social media is about being social. It's not just about your account. It's about now going to other accounts that are similar to yours, just accounts that you like, and engaging. Even on your own account, you have to engage with your followers. You have to respond. You have to respond to their comments. You have to collaborate with other influencers to align with your brand. You know, you have to show your audience love and they will return it tenfold. But you need to be social on social media. It's not just about people coming to your account and socially and being interactive with your account. It's about you're going to other people's account and being interactive with their account, because that's what it's all about, being social. Because once you're able to go to someone else's account and add value in the comments, that's how people get eyes on you and say, you know what, this person really gave a really great response. I like their comment. I'm going to go look at that page and then I'm going to follow them, because that's part of discovery as well. That is a huge part of discovery on social media. It's about interacting with other accounts that are similar to yours, where you can add value in the comments from whatever they post, or either going to other accounts that you like, that catch your attention, and just interacting with those accounts as well. That's what social media is about. I feel like with this episode, I can go on so much about social media because each of these deserve their own episode. And I think that's what I probably do. I probably start with this episode here, just overall giving you an overview. But I think the next episode, I might just create a series from this so we can get deeper into social media. So we can talk about each of these individually and go deeper into the conversation. So that way people really can understand it, because social media can be very confusing for people, and it can be really hard to grow and build an audience. Trust me, I know I am still also in the building process, but it can be really hard to build an audience, to try to find that right thing to build an audience. And because we haven't really touched on like giveaways and free offers, because all those things help with building an audience, is the reason why I feel like I want to do probably a series of social media and talk about audience building and go into some tactics on how you can build your audience. Talk about algorithm, talk about content, talk about the algorithm, talk about analytics and data, talk about community building, and really kind of go deeper into those to help build content. So listen, if it's something that you guys want a series on when it comes to social media to help you grow your business, your podcast, whatever it may be, please leave me a comment on any of my social pages and let me know that this is something that you want to hear, that this is a series that you really need. And I can go deeper into these conversations because, as I said, I used to teach social media. And so I can definitely go deeper into how to do each of these and why they're so important, and just give you a clear strategy and a plan and help you get better understand how to use social media as a strategy and as a tool in your overall marketing strategy. So if it's something you want, guys, definitely hit me down in the comments below. Let me know. Send me an email, of course. Tag me on social media, or send me a DM on any of my Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or wherever you're watching. And I will start a series off of this, and we will talk more about social media, because I could talk about this all day. All day. I have no idea. And so listen, guys, there you have it. Your starter kit to social media dominance. And it's just a starter kit. It's not the whole shebang. Like I said, there's so much more to talk about. And remember, the landscape also is always changing. So you have to stay curious and you have to stay adaptable. And most importantly, you have to stay authentic. Your brand has a story. So let's tell it in a way that resonates, engages, and inspires people to want to come to your account. That's what it's all about. So listen, that's going to do it for today's episode of Girl Take Note. I really hope you guys are walking away with your head buzzing with ideas and your heart ready to take on social media in a way that you've never thought before. Now, if you love today's episode, make sure you give us a shout out on your favorite social platform. And why not tag us, like I said, and we'll love to see what resonated with you in this episode. We really would. And also drop us any comments. If you're watching on YouTube, drop us comments below if you want to also see this as a series as we go deeper into each topic that we talked about, but just even more. So there's so much more to social media. But listen, until next time, I want you guys to keep shining and keep thriving.